Hi, and welcome again to Vlookup function course, where I will teach you step by step how to set and use Vlookup function. We will talk about data validation, how to create a data validation list, and then optimize your work. We're going to talk about how to connect an output table where you will get the informations you want with the database on a unique sheet. And we will also talk about how to connect the output table with the database from a different sheet. We're going also to see how to connect two workbooks. The output table will be in one workbook and the database or the table that contain the whole informations will be in another workbook. We're going also to talk about a function because we will use it to solve not available error. We're going also to see together many practical exercises where we will apply all things and functions that we have seen before. And of course, I will upload these Excel files with the course to be a reference for you and to do the practical exercises over and over again until you master our magic function, VLOOKUP function, data validation working principle. So let's get started. So as you can see here, we have here some student names. Okay, as you see, we have James, Stephen, Robert, Scott, John, etc. Okay, and we want to apply the data validation list to this cell. Okay, so how can we do that? Simple. Let's first select this cell and then go to data tab. As you see, we have here data tab, and then go to data validation. Okay, and here, as you see, we have the validation criteria. Okay, in the setting tab we have validation criteria. So let's go here and choose list, as you see here. Okay, and then go to source and click here, and then go and select our range or student names. Okay, as you see here, this is the range now is selected from C1 to C12, as you see. So, and then press OK. So now if you click in the cell, we have a down arrow, as you see here. So let's click this down arrow. Here we go. We have all students now as a list, as a drop down menu. Okay, as you see. So now the data validation is applied to this cell. So if you want to clear this, you should just select the cell and then go to data and then data validation and then clear all and then press OK. As you see, now the down arrow is disappeared and the data validation is cleared. Hi again. In this class, we're going to connect this table, the output table, to this database. Okay? So the database or the dataset or just a table that contains the whole information, and the output table exists in the same sheet. Okay? So let's connect this table to this using the VLOOKUP function. The final result that we will get is exactly like this, as you see. So we want to just pick any student here and get its all informations, as you see. Okay, so let's pick, for example, Richard. Here we go. We have all information about Richard. So here we have Richard. Okay, the same information. So we will get the final result is this. So let's go to our practice sheet, okay, and write down our Vlookup function in order to get the same result as here. Okay, so let's get started. So because this is a 100% practical course, we will first type our function in all these cells manually in order to get used and to be familiar with Vlookup function writing. Second, we will show you how you can copy and set the Vlookup function in all these cells automatically using just a cell as a reference. Okay? So here we have our lookup value, okay, exactly like this. So let's begin with the first cell. As you see, the student ID. We have here the ID of a student in the column number 2. So let's type equal sign and the Vlookup function. As you see here, we can just double click or press tab, okay, to choose the function. And then we have here the lookup value. So the lookup value is this L2. This is the lookup value L2. Okay. So semicolon, the table array. This is our table array. And then semicolon. So the third parameter or argument is the column index number. So we have the student ID exists in the second column. So we will type 2, then semicolon, and here we have two choice. True for approximate match and false for exact match. For me, I want the exact match. So you can just select exact match and press tab and then close parentheses and press enter. Here we have not available error. Why? Because this lookup value is empty. If I write down, for example, any name of a student from our database, for example, John, and press enter, as you see, now the cell is filled with the John ID, as you see, S741, S741. Okay, so let's go to the next cell. We have the contact email. So let's type equal sign, then Vlookup, and so press tab, and then we have here the lookup value. This is our lookup value. Then semicolon, we have the table array, the same table array. Okay, then semicolon, we have the column index number. So contact email exists in the third column. We have 1, 2, 3. So let's type 3, then semicolon, then false, then close parentheses and press enter. Okay, so this is the John email. So let's go to contact file. So equal Vlookup. Okay, so here we have the lookup value, the same lookup value, semicolon, the table array, semicolon. So the column index number exists in column number 4, so 4, then semicolon, then go to false and press tab and close parentheses and press enter. Okay, as you see here. So for John, as you see, John, the same phone number as here. Okay, so as I told you, this is a 100% practical course. So please download the file, that I upload with the course and practice with me. Okay? So date of birth equal Vlookup, the same principle. Vlookup, tab. This is the lookup value, semicolon. We have here the range, our table array or range. Okay, so semicolon. The column index of date of birth is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's put 5, then semicolon, then false, tab, close parenthesis, enter. Okay, so the weight, we have here weight in the column number 6. So equal VLOOKUP, tab, we have here lookup value, the same lookup value, semicolon. This is our table array, semicolon, column number 6, semicolon, then go to false, tab, close parenthesis, enter. Okay? Equal VLOOKUP, tab. This is the lookup value, so the same lookup value. So semicolon, the table array, this is our table array. Semicolon, the column index number, so for the height, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so let's put 7, then semicolon, then false, tab, close parenthesis, enter. Okay? The score equal VLOOKUP, lookup value, semicolon, our range or our database, semicolon, column index number is for the score is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, let's type 8, semicolon, and then go to false, close parenthesis, press enter. The last title we have favorite sport in the column number 9. So equal VLOOKUP, tab. This is lookup value L2, as you see here, L2, because we have L2. So semicolon, the table array. Semicolon, please remember, this is a 100% practical course, so be patient and get familiar with the VLOOKUP function. This is the most important function in Microsoft Excel. So we have the table array. The column index number is, the column is 9. Okay, as you see here, the favorite sport exists in column number 9. So semicolon, then go to false, exact match, and press tab and close parenthesis and press enter, as you see. Now we set our VLOOKUP function. So let's make this cells arranged to the left. So let's go to home and then choose left, align to left, okay, to make this arranged. So as you see, John, we have all information about John. So let's change the student. Let's, for example, put here Thomas, for example. So Thomas, as you see, and press enter. Here we go. So this is Thomas, as you see. This is the ID of Thomas is S159, the same ID. This is the email. This is the contact phone. Okay. This is the date of birth, 1994. Okay. This is the weight, height, score, and the favorite sport is boxing. Exactly as we have in the database or the dataset. Okay. So this is the working principle of VLOOKUP function. So please try to practice this. Okay. Before adding a data validation, let's now set our VLOOKUP function automatically using just a cell as a reference. Let's delete all these functions. So press delete. Okay, now we don't have here any function as you see here. Okay, let's delete also this. Now let's set a VLOOKUP function for just one cell and drag the function over all these cells in order to set it automatically. So let's get started. So equal VLOOKUP. Okay. So the first argument is lookup value. So this is our lookup value. So semicolon, the table array. This is our table array. Then semicolon, we have the column index number for the student ID is the column number 2. So let's type 2 and semicolon. So let's choose exact match. So tab, close parentheses, and press enter. Okay. So of course here we will deal in the next classes, we will solve this problem. But for now, we will just talk about how to set the VLOOKUP function. So let's, for example, write here a student name, for example, Scott, and press enter. As you see, we have here Scott. Okay, the ID is S369. Okay, so now if we drag this function over all the cells and see what will be happen. So we have here an error. Okay, why? This is not available because our range is, as you see, the range is from A1 to I13, as you see. So the first cell is A1 and the last cell is I13. So if we go here, we have, as you see, A1, I13. This is our range. But here, when we drag, the range is changed. We have A2 and I14. Here also we have A3, I15. So we should resolve this problem. I show you how. So we will go to our reference function and select this first. We should select our lookup value and press F4. Now the lookup value is fixed. It will not be changed because we add $2 here. $L, $2. We should do the same for our table array. So select the first cell and F4 and then select the other cell and then F4. Now the table array will be fixed. Okay, so now let's press enter. Okay, and now let's drag the function over all these cells. Here we go. Good. But why the student ID is repeated like this? Because the student ID exists in the column number 2. Okay, as you see, we have here 2. For those also, the column number 2 is not changed. So we can just go and change this. So for the contact email exists in column number 3. Okay, and contact phone in column number 4. So I can just go here to contact email. Okay, and then go here. Okay, and delete 2 and put 3 and press enter. As you see here, now the email is corrected. So let's go also to this cell and then delete 2 and press or and type 4, press enter. The same principle here. So delete 2 and type 5 and press enter. Okay, so here let's type 6 and press enter. Okay, so for the height exists in the column number 7. So let's type 7 and press enter. So for the score, so the score exists in the column number 8. So let's delete 2 and type 8 and press enter. And finally for the favorite sport, let's put 9 and press enter. Okay, so now our VLOOKUP function is seated. Okay, now let's make it easy. Instead of entering the name of student, let's apply a data validation in order to make our work easier. Okay, so let's select this cell, the lookup value cell, and then go to data tab. As you see here, this is data tab, and then go to data validation. Okay, as you see here, the data validation, pick from a list of rows to limit the type of data that can be entered in a cell. Okay, so let's click data validation, and we have here a window pops up for us. So let's go to setting and then validation criteria, and then let's choose here list. We have a lot of parameters here like date and time, etc. But for us, we will choose list. Okay, and then go to source. Okay, and click here, and then go and choose your source, or for us do student names. Okay, and then press OK. Now as you see, we have this small arrow, this down arrow. That means the data validation is seated correctly. So let's click this arrow. As you see, we have our list exactly the same names as here, as our database. Okay, so now we can choose any names we want. For example, Maria, as you see, let's choose, for example, Robert. Okay, as you see, for Robert, for example, this is Robert's information. The ID is S147, the same ID. This is the email. This is the phone number. Okay, the date of birth, 1990. As you see, this is the weight, 75. As you see, okay, the height, the score, and the favorite sport is foldable. So let's align this to the left. So let's go to Home tab and then align to the left. Okay. So please practice with me. Okay. So we set the function, the VLOOKUP function manually. We set it automatically by just set a VLOOKUP function as a reference and then drag over all other cells and using the dollar sign. The dollar sign is a very important sign that will help us to keep this array fixed. Okay, and then we use the data validation. And if you want to clear the data validation, easy. So select the data validation cell, okay, and then go to data tab and then data validation and then go to clear all, okay, and then press OK. Now the data validation is disappear. Okay, going to see how to connect two sheets. One sheet that contains the database and the other sheet that contains the output table. So as you see here, this is our output table. Okay, we have student, student ID, contact email, contact phone, date of birth, weight, height, score, and favorite sport. So in this sheet, we have just the output table where we will get the information of the student that we will type here. And we have the database in another sheet, a separate sheet. So let's get started and see how can we do that. So this is our local value that we will let empty. So let's go to student ID. So the same working principle. Let's type equal sign and then VLOOKUP. Okay. Here we have the local value. This is our local value, and then type semicolon. The table array. We should go to the sheet where we have the table array. So let's click in the sheet. As you see, this is our table array. It's selected. Okay, and then semicolon. Okay, so the ID exists in the column number 2. So let's type 2 as you see here. So this is our function. Then semicolon, then select exact match, false, and then close parentheses and press enter. Okay, so we have net available. Okay, because the local value cell is empty. Let's type down here Scott, for example, and press enter. Okay, as you see, so we are now in a separate sheet. Okay, as you see, Scott ID is S369. If we go to our database, we have here Scott S369. Okay, and as you see here, we have, as you see, this is our local value. Okay, A3. As you see, we have A3, and the table array. As you see, we have first practice, and then the name of the table array. First practice is the name of this sheet where we have the table array. Okay, as you see. Okay, so let's go to next cell. So equal Vlookup. So this is our local value, semicolon. Let's go to our database. This is our database or table array. Okay, and semicolon. So the contact email is in the column number 3. So let's type 3 semicolon and then false, close parentheses, press enter, as you see. Okay, and so on. Let's set right now the Vlookup function automatically. Okay, so let's just, if we drag like this, we will get the not available error. Okay, because as we see before, we should fix the table array. Okay, so let's go to the cell where we set our Vlookup function and then go here and press F4, and also here I13 press F4. Now this range is fixed. Also let's go here to our local value and press F4. Now our Vlookup function is fixed. Okay, so let's press enter and let's drag again this function over all these cells, and as you see, so the email is repeated because the column number is the same 3. Let's change the column number. So for the contact phone, let's put here 4. Okay, so 4 and press enter. So date of birth, well, 5, enter. So weight, so 6, enter. So height, let's type 7, enter. And for the score, let's type 8 and then enter. And for the favorite sports, let's type 9 and then enter. Okay, now our Vlookup function is set correctly. So let's change, for example, the student name. Let's, for example, write John and then press enter. As you see, it's correct. So now let's apply the data validation. Okay, so let's go to data tab and then data validation and then choose here list and then source. Let's go to our sheet that contain the database. Okay, and then select the student names as you see here. Okay, so always we have the name of the sheet that contain the student name or the data set. Then let's press OK. Now, as you see, our data validation is set correctly. So we have John, we have Patricia, as you see, can choose Joseph, as you see. Now our Vlookup function is worked correctly, and of course you can clear this data validation by going to data and then data validation and then press clear all and then please OK. Okay. We're going to see how to connect two workbooks using the Vlookup function. Okay. So as you see here, we have two workbooks. Okay. So this workbox, as you see, contain the database. As you see, this is our dataset that contain the whole informations about students. And in this workbook 2, we have the data table or the output table. Okay, so let's connect this workbook to this. So what should we do? The same working principle. As you see, we will let this empty. This is the local value student. And then let's type here equal sign and then VLOOKUP. Okay, and then the local value, this is our local value. And then type semicolon. So the table array, we should go to this workbook that contain the table array. So let's select this table array. Okay, and then semicolon. As you see, now the table array, as you see, so this is the local value. So the table array exists in the workbook number 1. Okay, and the sheet first practices answer, as you see. And here we have, this is the table array reference. Okay, so semicolon. So for the student ID exists in column number 2. So semicolon. So the false, let's select false, exact match, and close parentheses and press enter. We have here not available error because this cell is empty. Let's type here, for example, Thomas, and press enter. Here we go. Okay, so Thomas, if we go to workbook that contains the database, we have here Thomas, and we have the ID is S159, exactly as here, 159. Okay, so for the contact email, the same working principle, equal sign, so VLOOKUP. So the local value is this is E3, as you see here, and then semicolon. So the table array, we should go to this notebook, the first notebook, and then choose our table array. Okay, and then semicolon. As you see, this is our table array. Okay, here this is the name of the workbook, and here this is the name of the sheet that contains the table array, and this is the reference of table array already fixed. Okay, so the contact email exists in the third column. So let's type 3 and then semicolon and then choose exact match and then close parentheses and then press enter. Okay, as you see, we have Thomas. So let's drag the function over here. Okay, so the same principle, we should do some changes. Okay, so let's go here and fix this. Let's fix the local value by pressing F4, and also this reference of the table array is already fixed. So let's type enter. So let's drag again the function. Now it's good. So we should fix also the local value. So now we should just change the column number. Okay, so here we have 3. Here also we have 3, but normally we should put here 4. Okay, and press enter. So for the date of birth, we should put 5 and press enter. The weight, let's put here 6 and press enter. Height, let's write 7 instead of 3 and press enter. For the score, let's write 8 instead of 3 and press enter. and finally favorite parts exist in the ninth column. So let's type 9 and press enter. Here we go. Okay, so our output table is seated correctly. So our output table exists in this workbook, in workbook 2. Okay, as you see, we connect these two workbooks. Okay, so if we change here the student name, for example, let's put here Patricia, for example, and press enter. As you see, let's type another, for example, John, and press enter. So our Vlookup function work properly between two workbooks. Okay, so you can apply the data validation using the same principle. Okay, going to see a function. So I will teach you how to use the a function, because we're going to need this function, the a function, to solve the not available error. Okay, that we get when the lookup value is empty. Okay, so let's first see what is the definition of a function. Okay, so let's go here to formulas, as you see, and then go to logical formulas. Okay, as you see here, this is logical formulas. So we have here a function. So as you see here, a function checks whether a condition is met and returns one value if true and another value if false. Okay, so as you see here, we have two cells. Okay, we have an input cell and we have an output cell. Okay, so I will apply the a function in the cell, in the output cell. This is just an example in order to understand the a function. Okay, but first let's know about two informations. Two quotation marks means empty. Okay, and the semicolon, as you see here, means done. Okay, let's set our function in this cell. So let's type equal value. Okay, and then f. Okay, as you see here, we have the f, so tab, and the logic test. What is the logic test? The logic test is if this cell D3, as you see, equal to quotation mark means empty, means if this cell D3 is empty, what is the value if true? As you see here, the value if true. So let's put first quotation mark. So if D3 is empty, let the output cell also empty. So two quotation mark. Semicolon. If not, write in the output cell okay. So quotation mark, okay, and another quotation mark. Okay, and then close parentheses and press enter. Okay, so let's try here anything, a number, for example 100, and press enter. As you see, we have okay, because this cell is contain a number. If, for example, this cell contain a text, for example student, for example, okay, and press enter, we have okay. If we remove this text, so let's press delete. As you see, also the output cell is empty. If we write again anything, for example a character, and press enter, we have here okay. Okay, so this is a function, as you see here. So we have f, okay, d3, this is d3, as you see, this cell is d3, equal two quotation marks means empty. Then, as you see, two quotation marks, let this empty. If not, then write okay. Okay, this is a condition function. Okay, so we will use this function to solve this problem, the not available problem. We're going to see how to solve the not available error. Okay, so let's get started. So as you see here, I connect this table, this output table, with this database. Okay, this database in this sheet and the output table as you see in this sheet, in another sheet, but I connect between them. So let's, for example, type a name for another student. For example, let's type John. Okay, for example, so let's go to our output table. Let's type, for example, John. Okay, so John and press enter. As you see, this is all informations about John. Okay, the student ID, contact email, the phone, date of birth, etc. Okay, so but if I remove the name here, guess what? So let's remove the name and see what will be happen. As you see, we have the not available error appears. But the normal state is when this cell is empty, all the cells should be empty. Okay? Exactly like this example, as you see. So I have Scott. If I remove this Scott, other cells are empty. We don't get here not available error. Why? Because I use here the if function, as you see. Okay, if I select any cell here, as you see, I have the if function, as you see, because I use the if function with the Vlookup function. But in this example, as you see, if I press or I select this, we have just Vlookup function. So we should use the if function. Okay, so let's get started. So let's select any cell from these cells and then go here, as you see, next to equal, and then type F, okay, and then tab, okay. So the test logic, what is the logical test? The logical test is if this cell, the lookup value cell means A3, okay. So if this cell equal two quotation mark means empty, okay. So if this cell is empty, let also this cell empty, so two quotation marks, okay. If not, so value if false. If not, apply the Vlookup function. So if not, Vlookup function, okay. And I should go here and close parentheses and press enter. Here we go. Now this cell is empty. Why? Because we add the if function, but those are still the same. Okay, so let's drag this function over all these cells. Okay, but first we should fix this, the local value. Let's add a dollar here. So let's select the A3 cells and press F4 as you see. Now this cell is fixed. So we have here this is fixed and then press enter. Okay, now let's drag this over all these cells. Good. Now the not available error is disappear. Why? Because we add the if function. Now let's type a name for a student. For example, let's type Patricia. So Patricia, okay, and press enter. Here we go. So we have here the student ID is repeated because we don't change the column number. As you see, the student ID column number is 2. Also for the contact email we have 2. Also for the phone we have 2. So we should change this column number because the contact email is 3. The column number for the contact email is 3, as you see here. So we have 3 contact email. We have 1, 2, 3. For the phone number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So let's change this. So let's go to contact email and then go to 2. And instead of 2, let's type 3 and press enter, as you see. So contact phone, let's delete 2 and press and type 4, enter. So here, let's type 5, enter. Okay, for the weight, let's type 6, enter. So the height, let's type instead of 2, 7, and press enter. For the score, let's type 8 instead of 2, 8, and press enter. And finally, for the favorite spot, let's remove 2 and type 9 and press enter. So now our function, Vlookup function, is seated correctly. So let's remove the patricia to let this cell empty and see what will be happen. So let's delete patricia. Now the not available error is disappeared, even if this cell is empty. Okay? Why? Because we add the a function, as we see here. Okay? So please practice with me. Download the Excel files that I uploaded with the course and practice me doing. Okay? In order to master and to learn 100% the VLOOKUP function, the if function, and the data validation. Okay? Hi. So this class will be a summary for the whole course. Okay? So we have seen how to connect a data set or a database with an output table. Okay? We have also seen how to connect a database with an output table in another sheet or in a separate sheet. And of course, we have seen how to connect between two workbooks. And we talk about the data validation and the if function and how can we use it to solve the not available error. Okay? Now let's go and see another example where we will apply all things and information that we have seen before. Okay, so here we have another database where we have some student names, okay, and some subjects. As you see, we have physics, math, English, science, algebra, sports. Okay, this is scores for each student in this table, and here we have an output table. So our purpose here is if we type any student name here, we want to get its scores for its subject. Okay, so we will use the VLOOKUP function, okay, in the first time, and next we will use the data validation to facilitate the student name entering. Okay, so we will use in this example the VLOOKUP function, the data validation, and we will correct the not available error using the if function. So let's get started. So let's type here equal sign and then VLOOKUP. Okay. So the lookup value. So this is the lookup value cell. So we will let this cell empty. So let's go here to the first cell where we have physics, the first subject, and then type equal VLOOKUP. So tab. So the first argument is lookup value. So this is our lookup value. Semicolon. The table array. Here we have our table array, as you can see. Semicolon. So the column index number for the physics. This is the second or the column number 2. So let's type 2. Semicolon, and let's choose the exact match. Okay. So tab, close parentheses, and press enter. Okay, so we have not available because this cell is empty. Okay, so in order to avoid this not available, let's add a function. So let's go here and type f. Okay, and then tab. So the logical test is if this cell equal empty to quotation mark, then so semicolon, let also this cell empty, so two quotation marks. If not, means semicolon, apply the VLOOKUP function. So let's clear parentheses because here we have a red parentheses as you see, and here we have black. So let's add another parentheses. So close parentheses and press enter. Now this cell is empty. We didn't get the not available error because we add the a functions. So let's type any student name here, for example Scott. Okay, Scott, and press enter. As you see, we have for Scott physics, the score for scores in physics is 70. Okay, so let's apply the function in all these cells. So we can just drag this function and change the column number, or we can apply a function manually, one by one. So let's apply it manually because this is a practical course. Let's apply it manually, and in this cell I will first apply the a function, then the Vlookup function in the same time. Okay, so equal f, as you see, function. So let's type tab. So the logical test is if this cell equal two quotation mark means empty, then empty. Okay, if not, then apply the Vlookup function. As you see, the Vlookup function. So the Vlookup function for this cell math is the lookup value. This is our lookup value. So semicolon, the table array. This is our table array. Okay, semicolon, the column index number. So for the math, we have 1, 2, 3. So number 3. So let's type 3. Semicolon, false. So exact match. So let's type tab and close two parentheses. Okay, and press enter. As you see, we have 42 for Scott. We have Scott 42. So equal sign. So please practice with me. So equal sign f this cell I, as you see, I8, as you see here, I8 equal two quotation mark empty, then empty. If not, apply the Vlookup function. So for the Vlookup function, the lookup value, this is our lookup value. Semicolon, the table array. Here we have our table array. Semicolon. So for the English exists in the fourth, in the column number 4. So let's type 4 and semicolon. We want the exact match. Close parentheses, two parentheses, and press enter. Okay, the same for science. Equal if, okay, this cell equal empty, then empty. If not, then apply the Vlookup function. Okay, so the lookup value for the Vlookup function is this I8 semicolon. This is our database or table array, semicolon. So for the signs exists in the column number 5. So let's type 5. Okay, semicolon. We want the exact match and close parentheses and press enter. Okay, so for the algebra, so equal f function. Okay, so the logical test, if this cell equal two quotation mark means empty, then two quotation mark. If not, then apply the Vlookup function. So the lookup value for the Vlookup function is this. So semicolon, the table array. This is our table array. Okay, so semicolon. So the algebra exists in, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's type 6, the column number 6, semicolon, the exact match. So let's type tab, close parentheses, and press enter. Okay, so finally for sports, let's type equal sign f. Okay, so let's type tab or just double click. So the logical test, if this I8 equal empty, then let it empty. So if this empty, let this cell empty. If not, apply the Vlookup function. Okay, so the lookup value for the Vlookup function, this is the lookup value. So semicolon, the table array, the same table array. Okay, the table array is from A1 to G13, as you see, A1 to G13. So semicolon. So sports subjects exist in the seventh column. So let's type 7 and then semicolon. So let's choose the exact match. Okay, because here we have two states: true for approximate match and false for exact match. So let's choose exact match. Okay, and then close parentheses. Okay, we have two parentheses. Let's close two parentheses. Why? Because one parenthesis for the VLOOKUP function and the other parenthesis for the whole function, and press enter as you see. Okay, so for Scott, as you see, we have here Scott. Okay, as you see, we have 70 for physics, 70, 42, as you see, 55, the same, 80, 88, 56. Okay, if we remove Scott, so let's delete Scott. So also these cells are empty. Why? Because we used the a function. Okay, so now let's add here or apply here the data validation. So let's select this cell and then go to data, as you see here, and then data validation, and then go to validation criteria, and then choose a list over here. Okay, and then go to source. Okay, and then select the student names. Okay, and then press this arrow and then press OK. Okay, as you see, now we have this down arrow where we have our drop down menu where we can choose any student name. For example, Richard. As you see, this is a Richard scores. Okay, as you see here. Okay, so we can choose any name we want. For example, Thomas. Okay, or Patricia. Okay, or Jennifer. As you see, magic. Please practice over and over again until you learn and you master the use of the VLOOKUP function.